Hi, and welcome to the Breakthrough Emotional Eating podcast. My name is Kristen Jones, and thank you so much for joining me this week. Y'all, this week we are going to be talking about not necessarily weight loss or emotional eating, because weight loss and emotional eating can't exist on an island. They can't exist just like by themselves. That one of the things that I think most people make an incorrect assumption about is that how your life is and what is happening with your weight and your eating, that those two things are totally separate, that they're not related at all, and that we have to deal with them independently. And the reality is our happiness and our peacefulness in our life is very connected and absolutely linked to how that manifests itself for us in a physical way. And so it's those two things go hand in hand, and they both have to be addressed in order for either one of the issues, your life happiness or um, your life happiness or your I'm sorry, there's something going on outside my house. So I'm being distracted. So that's okay. I'm trying to ignore it. But those two things have to be intertwined. They have to be, we can't look at them totally separately. So we're going to talk about that today. So I'm going to give you three things that you need to be doing and thinking and feeling in your life in order for you to be at peace, but as well for you to lose weight. And those things can go together. They don't have to be separate. I think the most important thing that I would want people to remember is that we can't think that losing weight is going to fix our life. That if you're not happy and you're not content and you're not at peace as you're losing weight, that when you get to your goal weight, that's not going to suddenly happen. You're not all of a sudden, it's not going to be like the clouds are going to open and it's rainbows and unicorns and all of that good stuff, and that all of your problems are going to go away. In fact, your problems are going to be amplified because you're not using food anymore to buffer and keep those emotions and those thoughts away from you. So we have to have those, we have to make sure that we look at those two things. So if you are listening on the podcast, welcome. I am live in the Breakthrough Emotional Eating community. If you are not a member and you want to become a member, which I think you should, you want to go to www.facebook.com/groups/food breakthrough and join our community. There are all sorts of free resources, all sorts of support. We have amazing members. We have a first steps, post that you can learn all of the things that we do in order to lose weight and not be in that diet roller coaster, that diet mentality. We let that go. We don't diet in our group. We don't focus on that. We focus on eating till we're satisfied, eating only when we're hungry, and eating the foods we love. We don't want to diet. We don't want to put ourselves in that restrictive and deprivation mode. So that is not what we do. So if that is something that you're interested in, please come and check us out. So again, www.facebook.com/groups/food breakthrough. All right, let's dive into things. So um, one of the things that I always find super interesting, and I think most of my clients or most of the people that I work with find really interesting, is that I don't really talk about food very much. There's the times where we dabble and we talk a little bit about food. If someone's having a plateau, we'll talk about food. But we always come back to always talking about our thoughts and how our thoughts lead to our feelings. Our feelings turn into our actions. We never do any actions unless we have a feeling behind it. And then how those actions get us the results that either we want or we don't want. Sometimes our actions get us results that we absolutely do not want. And we have to be very aware of that and know that that's our responsibility to make sure that we have that under control. But it's important to remember that people are not emotional eaters and they're not overweight because they just love food. I think a lot of people will say that and they'll be like, I just love food. I just love to eat. When we say that, we're setting ourselves up, we're giving ourselves an excuse and a reason for why we're not taking care of ourselves, for why we are not valuing ourselves, why we're not feeling that we're worthy. And so we have to really strip away those beliefs that we have, those excuses that we're giving ourselves, and really start to look at like, what in my life is not working? Because the symptom, the result of the symptom is the weight gain, and the cause of it is not because you love food. There's something else. There's something else going on, and it's definitely something emotional. And most people don't really want to deal with that. And I'm really proud of the fact that we have a group of women that have come together that are saying, yeah, no, I'm ready. I'm ready to look at that. I'm ready to figure this out. I'm tired of doing the same thing over and over and over. It's like Groundhog Day times 10, and it's not working for so many people because diets don't work, deprivation doesn't work, restricting doesn't work. We have to figure out what that deeper meaning and a deeper issue is and address that first. And then we get to the weight loss piece. So I'm going to give you three things that you really need to look at and address in order to be at peace and be happy in your life. And as a result of that peace and happiness, weight loss will happen and it will be so much easier because you're not beating yourself up because you're happy because you're good with your life. You're living your life in a way that's truly authentic to you, and that's super important. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to know yourself. Now, what the heck does that mean? You have to know yourself. Well, it's always surprising to me how many people don't truly know who they are, who they really are. They sometimes know who they've been told they are, but they don't know who they really are at their core. They really don't know who they are. And they don't know what they want in their life. And so that can lead to a lot of a it can lead to a disconnect. It can lead to a just a separation of you're not feeling like you're authentic. You're not truly who you're not truly being who you're supposed to be. You're being who other people think you need to be. And sometimes people around us will expect us to be a certain way. And that's not really how we want to be, but we've been that way for so long and they just have come to expect it. And that's what they get. And and they're not happy when you don't act the way you're supposed to act. And the bottom line is you have to know who you are and know who you are and really be okay with that. Know who you are and be okay with that. So as many of you, I've told a variation of the story many times before, but um, I was a teacher, and both my parents were teachers. Now, my parents did not ever even direct me towards teaching. I mean, the thought was always I couldn't be a teacher because I did not have enough patience. Probably a little bit true, but I did not have enough patience, and that was a was it was I loved what I did, but I always felt like I was pretending at doing what I was doing. I never felt like it was what I was really supposed to be doing. I was always trying to play catch up. I was always trying to like I was trying to pretend that I was a good teacher. And whether or not I was or wasn't, I didn't believe that I was. I didn't, and I knew there was something wrong and I couldn't put my finger on it because I loved what I did, but there was just something that was missing. There was something I wasn't getting out of being a teacher. There was something that wasn't feeding a part of me. And what I think it was that there's a very creative there's a very creative part of me, And the way education is kind of moved is you're not really able to be very outwardly creative, because we have standards. We have state testing, you have national testing, you have all this, stuff you have to do with the kids. And it was, great. I loved it. I didn't feel fulfilled. And I didn't know what or who I wanted to be. And that's a really scary thing. And it wasn't until I went on a vacation with my sister. We went to the Greek islands and I was reading a book. And y'all, I've talked about this before. You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. Book absolutely changed my life. If you have not read it, you need to. I'm going to tell you over and over again. That is the book. That is an amazing book because it really empowers you to figure out who are you and what do you want in your life. Because if you're walking around being what other people want you to be, it's that's going to create some disharmony, and that disharmony is not going to feel good. It's going to feel uncomfortable, it's going to feel awkward, and it's going to be an emotion that you're not going to like. And that emotion that you don't like is going to cause you to eat. So that's how this all wraps back around to the emotional eating. It's going to make emotional eating worse, but it's also going to cause you to turn to food. So we really have to know yourself, get to know what is it, and be honest with yourself. Are you truly happy doing what you're doing in your life? Are you truly happy? So I'm going to ask that in the comments in the group, those people who are watching in the group, are you happy in your life? So I either want you to write happy or put a question mark that you're not really sure. You're not saying no, but you're saying, I might. There might be something in my life that's just not working, that I'm not feeling like I'm doing the right thing. But if you're happy, that's awesome. Write down that you're happy. Write the word happy. Otherwise, put a question mark. You just might not be sure. You're not really sure if that's what you need to be doing. That's the first thing. We have to know ourselves. First thing, to get to peace and to get to weight loss, we have to know ourselves. The second thing, we have to believe with 100% certainty what we stand for, and don't waver on what we stand for. Don't waver. Don't waver. Don't don't just be true and be loyal to what you stand for, and know and believe that who you are as a person and what you stand for and what you believe is the right thing for you, that it's the right thing for you. So I'm going to be really, and I tell you all this all the time, but I'm going to be very, very transparent with you, about my life and my business and how and what that looks like, and how that kind of has translated and has completely changed my life, um, because I wasn't living my life the way I needed to be living it. It I was living in I was living a life that was what I thought I was supposed to do. I thought I was supposed to be a teacher. So then I decided to leave. And then I was really excited about that. And then I thought that I wanted to be a coach, but I was going to do just weight loss and fitness, and I was going to run this, have this online business, and it was going to be just, it was going to be fabulous, and I realized it wasn't working. Like that piece, like that didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel true to me, but I didn't know what was gonna what was gonna click for me, not only from a point of resonating in my heart, but I also realized that I had not come to terms with who I was as an emotional eater. Like I had not really like embraced and accepted that that was where I was and that was who I was, and it was okay. And that's a part of me, it's not all of me. And so I really needed to believe that, you know what? what do I stand for? Well, I stand for people not having to change their lives, having to twist themselves into these really, you know, awkward, uncomfortable, circumstances with, going on a crash diet or going on this extreme diet. That wasn't authentic to me. But I was doing that with people. I was telling people, okay, here's your food list, here's your this, here's your that. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I knew it wasn't right. I knew it wasn't right for me. I just knew that wasn't authentic to who I was. And it wasn't, and I didn't believe, I tried, but I didn't believe in what I was doing. And it wasn't until I embraced my emotional eating and owned it and said, this is who I am. And now I have a purpose. And now I have a direction. And now it's about what can I do to help other people and help myself. Because when I made that decision, I still was not that far into my own recovery. And so it really was more about, okay, well, oh gosh, now I kind of like, oh, okay, I want to believe that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm not really sure because I don't even know if I can take care of myself. And over time, it did that changed and that morphed and it moved into me believing that what I stood for in helping people with emotional eating issues like myself who just needed some direction, just needed to know what is this thing and how do I take care of it? And learning that it's not about the food, it's about our thoughts, it's about our beliefs, it's about what we think about ourselves. That was when that was when my life became much more peaceful and much more serene. And I didn't have to worry about my weight anymore because I was happy with who I was and what I was choosing to do. So my weight wasn't an issue anymore because I was happy with who I was and what I believed in about myself. So that's the second thing. First thing, you have to know yourself. Second thing, you have to believe in what you stand for and you don't waver. So one thing that I do not do is I do not you will notice here in this group. I think I've offered just because I have so many videos that I've done for when I was doing fitness, but I don't push exercise. I don't obviously don't push diets at all. I don't do meal plans at all, other than you making your own. Um, and that feels really good. That feels really authentic and really, really real. So that's the second thing. Again, you have to know yourself and then you have to believe in what you stand for and you don't waver from it. And the third thing you need to do, and this is gonna actually change your life, but it's also gonna change your weight loss. And that is you cannot care what other people think about you. We all have to let that go. The only person's opinion of you that matters is your own. Period. End of story. There's nothing else to discuss. If people have a problem with it, then that is their problem. And they're entitled to feel that way, but that's theirs. If you do the first two things, that you know yourself and you believe in what you stand for and you don't waver from it, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Somebody else might think, you know what, it's not a good idea for you to. I think that meal planning thing is really silly. Why do you have to stick with your meal plan? Why can't you just change? Gosh, you're really rigid these days. Why are you doing that? All those things that people want to put on you. That doesn't matter. The only person's opinion about you that matters is your own. And that is it. That is so, so important. When you get to that place, your life becomes exponentially more peaceful and happier because you are doing what's right for you and you are not letting other people's opinions of you become your business because it's none of your business what other people think of you. They want to tell you, but it's none of your business. So one of the things, and I have just, and I'll be totally honest, and you know that I've had, if you've been listening to the podcast, I have had my coach, my life coach, Sheila Morgan, on the show before, and Sheila specializes in working with people pleasers, which I think would be myself and probably, 99% of the people who are in the breakthrough emotional eating community. And I believe it is a characteristic of people who are emotional eaters, that so many of us um, are people pleasers, that we always put other people's needs ahead of our own. We want other people to be happy. And 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 that's something I have struggled with so much. It's been so hard for me to to not get enmeshed in other people's issues. And one of the things I've realized is the reason I would get enmeshed with other people's issues is because I didn't want to deal with my own. So it was much easier to focus on other people's issues and try to make them happy as opposed to looking at my own life and what wasn't working in my life. So I realized I was hiding from it. The other piece is when you can feel in your heart that what someone else thinks about you is not important. I cannot tell you the liberation that it gives you. It is it's unbelievable. And I'm saying this because this has just happened for me in the last week. And I can't even pinpoint, I know exactly what it was, and I will share with you what it was that created this for me. But like the weight that has been taken off of me is just just the emotional and the mental weight that I have shed in the last week is just incredible. So uh, in podcast land, you might have heard. I know that most people in the breakthrough emotional eating group know that I recently, about a week and a half ago, and actually it just started on Monday, but I opened up a membership site, and I always had the free group in the breakthrough emotional eating community. I've always had, I have private clients, I have a coaching business, and I coach people in emotional eating, but I also run a free group. And I decided about probably a month and a half or 2 months ago that I wanted to be able to, and I will be completely transparent. And I have told the people in the group this, that I have coaching packages that I'm gonna I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say I think I'm worth every single penny that anyone pays me, but they're not cheap. And I'm not gonna lie about that. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I think it's worth it. I think what I do is really valuable, incredibly valuable. I know it is life changing, but it is not for the faint of heart when it comes to an investment that you make in yourself. And I recognize that. And so what I chose to do is I chose to formulate and create something that I wanted to be able to make it accessible to people. I wanted to be able to make it affordable for people. Now, I don't know what that means for everybody, but I tried my best to do what was going to be best, not only for myself as a single person who owns their own business, pays their own health insurance, does all of the things that a single entrepreneur does. But I took of a lot of flack for what I was doing, for what I was creating. And one of the things that I learned were these previous principles, and the third one. I know myself, I know what I stand for, I know what I believe, and I know who I am in my own heart. And I know that what I do in the breakthrough community is from my heart. It's because I care about people, it's because I want to help. And what I do in the breakthrough membership, same thing. But I cannot be concerned if people want to say things about me. That is okay. I am okay if someone doesn't agree with the decision that I've made. I would tell you 2 months ago would have torn me up. I probably wouldn't have slept for the last 2 weeks. But I have to be okay with people not agreeing with me, with people disagreeing, and that's okay. That's okay. They are totally entitled to their opinion about me, but their opinion about me is not my business, because I can't change anybody else's opinion about me, because anybody can think anything they want. I am good with me, and I know who I am, and I know why I do this work that I do, and I know why I created my business and why I do all of this, and I'm okay with that. And if somebody doesn't agree, that is totally okay. But for me to be able to say that and in my heart really be like, yeah, that's okay. It's okay if somebody doesn't like me. It's okay if somebody says something about me, that's okay because I know who I am. And the only person's opinion that matters is if you have a higher power. So for me, it's God and me. That's it. Our opinions, the two of us, we are going at it alone. It's about us. It's about how I feel about me, my opinion of myself, and I just have to answer to God. That's it. So those three things have made an incredible difference in my life, have totally changed my outlook and my way I'm able to just interact with myself. And it has given me so much peace to know that everybody else gets to deal with their life. I get to deal with my life. And that same thing goes for everyone listening, everyone in the community, everybody gets to do what they want to do and live their lives the way they want to live it. And so I'm going to ask if you're not living your life in a way that you want to live it, or if you're not feeling good in your own body, feeling good in your own skin, you feel like your relationship with food is a little out of control, you may want to look at is what is the aspect of your life that food is taking the place of, and what is it that you're trying to not look at by making food the central focus of your life? Because I know for me, food was a focus for most of my life. But 45 years of my life, food has been a focus because I didn't know who I was. But when I got to know who I was and I liked it and I put myself in a position to like my life and to like who I am, everything changed. Everything changed. So we can't wait to be happy or peaceful till after we lose weight. Because I hate to tell you, if you don't deal with it now and you don't deal with it while you're losing weight and you don't look at the other aspects of your life, weight loss is not going to make any bit of difference at all. So I hope that that I hope this podcast kind of opened your eyes to the connection between our own happiness and our own peacefulness and how that impacts our weight loss or not. And what you really need to address if you're not liking how you're feeling, if you're not liking how you feel in your own skin, if you're not liking aspects of your life, let's take a look at those first and then see if we start addressing those things and we start to get really real about how we feel, that how much of our life will change and how much our weight will change as a result of that. And I think that's what people miss is they think, oh, if I lose weight, then my life's going to get happy and my life's going to be good. And that's one of the reasons I think people gain weight back is because they realize, oh, wait, I'm stuck. I did all this work and now I'm here and it's just me and I'm still not happy. I think the common denominator is me. So that's what everybody really needs to look at and really be honest with yourself about what that looks like and how that manifests itself in your life. I know you can do it. I know you can get real with yourself and allow yourself to feel those emotions, allow yourself to open up and feel how you're feeling and really recognize what that kind of thing looks like and how is it that you want to go about changing it. So in the comments right now, if you could only if you believe that these three things are absolute, that these three things, knowing yourself, believing in what you stand for, and not giving other people's opinions greater value than your own, if you believe that those three things are absolutely essential, not only for happiness in life, but for weight loss, only if you believe that those things are true, do I want you to just give me a thumbs up in the comments. Just give me a thumbs up. That's it. If you believe that those three things are the things that we really need to work on, and it's not about the carbs, it's not about the portion sizes, it's not about any of those other things. It's really about dealing with ourselves and looking at ourselves and what it is that we want and what we have in our life. Hope this was helpful. Hope this gave you just a little bit of insight and a little bit of something to think about when it comes to an alternative viewpoint of weight loss and how important that is. And that again, It's not about the food. We all know that. Thank you, Joyce. I know you're watching somewhere and I know you're loving that. So, again, thank you um, for encouraging us all to remember that this is not about food. This is about you and about what you want and about your belief in yourself and your disregard for other people's opinions. Hope you all have a fabulous, fabulous rest of your week. Thank you so much, as always, for joining me. Again, if you are not a member of the Breakthrough Emotional Eating community, please go ahead and join us at facebook.com/groups/food breakthrough. And come on in and join the group and learn more about this management of thoughts and feelings and how those relate to not only life happiness, but weight loss as well. All right. Y'all have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next week. All right. Take care, everybody.